James Reese from Overtime Heroics MMA. We're here this morning with UFC's Jack Shore. How's things doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, it's all good, Jim. Glad to be home. But back to, I've had my week of getting fat now, so back to a bit of training and a bit of routine. Not 100% strict on the diet yet, but I'm easing myself in with the training first, and then it's back to a bit of normality.
Nice, mate. You abused yourself a bit when you come back, mate, did you?
Use and abuse the diet, 100%.
Gotta be done, mate. Gotta be done. It's a way to celebrate, isn't it?
That's it.
So, we'll jump straight into it there, mate. Obviously, Abu Dhabi, Fight Island. Tell us about it, mate. What sort of experience was that for you?
Yeah, it was a very unique experience. One I don't think unless I go back to Fight Island, you're really gonna experience. Obviously, I think we spent 4 days in total in the hotel room, isolating between London and Abu Dhabi. 4 COVID tests. All the staff sort of in PPE, face masks when you leave the hotel room, and just having the island sort of shut. I mean, we went for a walk the one day when we were allowed out, and it was the island was shut off completely. There was nobody, no cars about, no public about. Everyone there was obviously there to they were either staff of the government working for the golf courses and stuff like that, but they were all there as part of the Fight Island. It wasn't open to the public, so to see such a big area of such a wealthy place, with all these buildings and hotels and everything, just pretty much empty apart from the fighters and the staff was a little bit weird. And then obviously you got the fight then where even fight week just. Usually when you're in the UFC, you have like a workout room and it's like a red corner and a blue corner. Whereas this time it was like, it was you had your own workout room pretty much. You had your own sauna, your own workout room, which was essentially you had your hotel room and then you had another hotel room that was matted out for you to train in. So it was a different feel to this one, and obviously the fight itself didn't feel too different other than like the walkout and the intros. It was the same sort of setup with the changing room and the commission and stuff like that. And the hand wrap. I mean, the only different thing was we got hand wrapped in the hotel rather than at the venue. So, it was definitely a unique one. And I'm glad I did it to, if they don't ever go back to Fight Island again, at least I can say I went and experienced it. And obviously it was a great experience for my team as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it all could be crazy, really. And how did you cope with the whole being stuck in an hotel thing? Because obviously you're quite an active guy. You like getting out and about and all that. And I bet you had a bit of cabin fever going on, didn't you?
Yeah, it was very tough, especially with the weight cut as well. Sort of that close to a fight. So I mean, this is why I try to explain to people. 10 days out from the fight, then we had to spend a day traveling and 4 days stuck in an hotel room. 2 of those days I was in a room on my own in London. Couldn't even go with my coach. And then obviously I had 2 days stuck in the room with my old man in Abu Dhabi. So sort of 10 days out from a fight to spend 5 days of that sort of not really doing nothing other than body weight stuff and a bit of pad work is tough mentally, and it's tough on the body as well because you're not naturally dropping the weight as quick as you would. So like you said, I'm quite an active person. I like to get out running. Once, maybe twice a day, that's sort of close to the fight, and that's because I enjoy being out and about as well. But it was tough mentally, and obviously it led to a tougher weight cut. I've had tough weight cuts before, but just because of the heat and everything as well, the time zones, and then obviously having spent Monday and Tuesday of fight week stuck in an hotel room, so you can't run, you can't sauna. It's just a matter of doing pads and like a circuit my old man would put me through, just made it a little bit tougher. But again, it was just a testament to me sort of how strong I am mentally. I know I'm strong mentally anyway, but to sort of not adversity, but to sort of factor in all the outside different factors there that you wouldn't usually have to deal with fight week, to factor them in and still make weight and still show up and perform, at the best of my ability. I'm very proud that I was able to do that, and it's a testament to not only me but my team as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously you made weight safe enough. Was there ever any sort of worry that making weight was going to be a factor, or
no? There was never a worry. Like, we always knew we'd make it. It was a little bit more of a drawn out process than what it usually is. Obviously, usually I cut weight in the sauna, so it's like a dry sauna. You got like the 3 benches. you can warm it up more with the cold, stuff like that. Whereas because we had our own separate workout rooms and with the COVID and everything, we obviously couldn't share a sauna. So we had the zip up ones, and they're more of a steam room than they are a sauna. So, it was one of them. We just had to gauge whether I was actually sweating or whether it was like the steam from obviously the pipe coming into the sauna. And it just drew it out a little bit. I think in the end, we did the last sort of 2 pound in the bath just because, when you're in the bath, you can physically feel your face and your hands sweating. Whereas obviously when you're zipped up the ear in the sauna, you don't know if you didn't know if it was the steam. But I mean, it wasn't it wasn't never a doubt that we was going to make weight. It was just a matter of we had to drag it out a little bit longer than we usually like to do it in a shorter space of time. So I'm not not killing myself for so long. Whereas this one took a little bit longer just to make the weight. But we were there comfortable. I mean, I say we dragged it out. And I managed to get because I did. You never sleep the night before weighing when you're cutting weight. I managed to get like a 2-hour nap in the day of the weigh-in as well. So although it was tougher than what I usually was, it wasn't down to the wire. Like you see those guys turning up overweight and they got to go back and cut weight. It was never like that. We made it within plenty of time. We made it safely. It was just a little bit tougher than I liked it to be, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, as we say, I mean, you made weight, no problem at all. So tell us a bit more about the actual the fight itself then. I mean, the octagon was a different size to what you're normally used to fighting in, yeah?
Well, no, this one was actually a full size because there was talk obviously in the Apex out in Vegas. It's a 24-foot cage, which is what we've got in the gym. But also, I've always fought with cage warriors in UFC in the 32-foot cage, which is the big one. So we didn't know up until about a week before what the crack was. But then obviously they announced that they were going to take the full-size cage, which I was very happy with, to be honest, because despite having like a come forward pressure style, you would think that I would prefer the little cage. But sometimes I feel you can feel a little bit trapped in there, especially if you want to work off the back foot or sort of lure your opponent on a bit. So it was nice to have the full size cage again.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the opponent on the night, Aaron Phillips, 12-4, I think he was coming into the night, 5-fight win streak. No easy opponent by any stretch, especially when you take into account the fact that you'd already had, was it 4 fighters had been changed?
He was the fourth opponent, so I'd had 3 previously sort of pull out or get verbally agreed, and then I end up getting matched with them. So yeah, Phillips was the 4th.
Yeah, how do you tell us about the fight, mate? How do you sort of feel it went for you? I mean, obviously we know the outcome. We seen how impressive to us it was, but how happy was you with your own performance?
Yeah, very pleased for the most part. Obviously, I did mention I felt a bit sloppy, sort of like the first minute and a half, and I don't know if that was just, I don't think it was nerves. I don't know if it was just because he was a southpaw, or maybe it was just because I've had a good few months. Well, you can spar all you like in the gym, but I've had a good few months sort of out of the actual cage. But having watched it back, I wasn't as sloppy as I initially thought in the opening couple of exchanges. It was just a bit. I'm sort of my biggest critic to an extent, so it was probably just me being overcritical. But all in all, I can't really complain at the performance. It went the game. I mean, I say game plan. The fight just went perfectly. Exactly how the corner wanted me to fight. Exactly how I wanted the fight to go. The only bonus I suppose would have been if I could have had him out there in the first. But second round, you'll take that all day.
Yeah, for sure. And he was. I mean, obviously you had. Bisping on the old commentary comparing you to the Welsh GSP. I mean, the guys all seemed pretty impressed with your performance as well, didn't they? It wasn't like you particularly struggled. I mean, all due respect to the guy, but you went in there, you've done what you needed to, and you come away with a win.
Yeah, like you said, he was no walkover. I mean, no disrespect to anyone in the UFC, but there's been certain guys sort of getting matched up with guys that are not on, in my opinion, the level they should be to be in the UFC. You see some guys going in there like a 1 or 2 fight win streak because of obviously like with the COVID situation and the pullouts, they got to get people in on short notice. Whereas with Aaron, in typical Jack Shore style, on 2 weeks' notice, they found a guy who was formerly in the UFC and is now on a 6-fight win streak with something like 4 or 5 finishes. So. They didn't chuck me no walkover, but just obviously I didn't get to spar for him or anything like that because my last spar was done before the fight actually got matched. But you know, it went sort of exactly how we sort of talked about during fight week. I mean, we didn't get to do too much specific prep, but it was just a case of, you know, he's a good long rangey striker. So we need to get inside and get in his face and make it sort of messy. And you know, he's a BJJ black belt who liked to work off his back. So it was a matter of when I get on top, let's not turn it into a grappling match. You know, let's make sure I'm busy with my strikes. Look to sort of advance to a more dominant position and punish him from there. And that's exactly how it went.
Yeah, great stuff, mate. What we finish off on then, mate, is obviously, as you said, you enjoyed the experience in Fight Island. I've been hearing talks that they're thinking about possibly doing some events out there in like October, November, I think I've heard. Is that something that would interest you, mate, be getting back out there that soon?
Yeah, obviously, you know, I'd just be happy to fight. I mean, ideally, I'd like to fight November time. But obviously, if there's nothing on in November and I've got to compromise with the end of October, then I can probably make that work if I absolutely need to. You know, I don't, obviously, I seen they announced the Khabib fight yesterday, so I'm assuming that would be in Abu Dhabi. But I mean, you never know with the UFC. You know, it would be nice to go to Vegas as well, if I'm honest. I know they got the Apex up and running out there. And it would, I mean, it's not the T-Mobile, don't get me wrong, but it would definitely be one to tick off the bucket list, you know, that I've been to Vegas and fight. I'm sure that will come in the future anyway, but to sort of, you know, there's two main facilities at the minute, you know, running during this lockdown, and it's obviously Fight Island and it's the Apex. So, you know, how good would it be to look back in 10 years' time and say, well, you know, Tag went to both of them and fought and won at the pair of them, you know, no crowd, didn't make a difference. So I've knocked Fight Island off the list. I'd happily go back, you know, we were looked after really well. But I mean, in an ideal world, I'd love to get out to Vegas and fight. I spoke to sort of Graham before Fight Island, before it was even matched, and he was saying about obviously we couldn't get the British guys out to Vegas due to visas and stuff like that and the travel ban. But I see now a couple of guys like Darren Stewart and have been matched up in Vegas. So I'm assuming that they've managed to get over that hurdle. I've heard Dana White saying in interviews this week that you know, the traveling's not too much of an issue anymore. They've sort of got over that hurdle now. So yeah, I'd love to go to Vegas and get one in out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great, as you say, nice bucket list opportunity. One thing I forgot to mention that we best put out there, time for you to plug your training facility, mate. Shore MMA, obviously making a name for itself in Abu Dhabi, as well as you. I mean, Brett Johns was out there 2-0 in Abu Dhabi for Shore MMA.
Yeah, it's a big testament, you know, to the gym and the coaches and the teammates. I mean, I know we haven't really been open properly the last couple of months. Only the pros has been able to train, but it just goes to show the type of level we're at now. You know, Fight Island is this big spectacle the whole world is watching, and you've got not a small facility, but you've got a gym in the valleys. You know, all homegrown talent, all Welsh guys, Welsh coaches, and you know we've took two guys out there on the biggest stage against the toughest opposition and come away with two really good wins. So it's a testament to my old man, to Parker, to him, you know, all the guys there, all the training partners, you know, that Scotty, Levi, you know, Oban, Des, all of them. So, you know, it just goes to show you don't need to travel to America to be, you know, competing at the top and to be taking out the best boys. You look at my last two fights here against two Americans and two good wrestlers, and I managed to put it on them. You look at Brett Johns' fight out on the island. You know, he fought one of the most dangerous up and comers in the division. You know, 6 foot odd, 75-inch reach, knockouts, submissions, Division 1 wrestler. You know, and Brett stuck it all over him. So it just goes to show, you know, Shore MMA is definitely the place to be in Wales, the UK, and Europe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to experience a facility myself, and a brilliant place to be, as you say, some top-notch guys there. Wales flying the flag really well now. Going forward, who's the guy that anyone that might not be quite up to date with the fighters need to be looking out for? Who's the guy that's likely to be knocking on UFC's door in the next 12 to 24 months, would you say?
Definitely, you know, if you want to look at guys from SMMA, without a shadow of doubt, Oban Elliott is probably going to be the next one, I'd imagine, from our gym. I mean, only 3-0 at the minute. I know he wanted a busy year. He wanted 4 fights this year. Obviously, the virus has probably knocked him back maybe 6 to 8 months. But I know he's looking to fight in September. I wouldn't be surprised to see him fight in December. And he's a big man for lightweight. So I know for a fact he'll happily jump up the welterweight if it means he can get an extra fight in. He's got all the talk. I mean, people see him online talking his shit and getting his name out there. But trust me, he's got the skills to back it up. 100%. His striking is unbelievable. His wrestling now, he's working with my old man Carl Parker in the wrestling and grappling, every day pretty much. And he generally is. I always said to him, he's an athletic freak. His knees bend ways that they shouldn't. He powers out the positions that he shouldn't. And, to coincide with that, his technique is getting better and better all the time as well. So I honestly think within sort of 3-4 fights at the most, he'll fight for the belt. Once he wins the belt, I think he'll move on from there. He may even be one of those that doesn't need the belt. He may even be one of those that he can get his name out there that well with his talk and his tongue that he may not even need the belt to get there. And I mean, we got a lot of good up and comers. We got Scotty Pedersen training with us now. Just about to turn pro or waiting on a matchup for his pro debut. Multiple time IMAF medalist, Team Wales, Team UK. I think he's won like 4 domestic titles in the UK. Really good amateur record, fought the best out of there, and he's looking like a different guy now. He's wrestling a lot better, and he's the same as old one, like real slick striker, and he's starting to sit down on his shots more now. So the novice pros at featherweight can look out when he starts digging. Now when he turns pro, and Jordan Peak's coming through as well, Jack Tucker, and even the youngsters like Levi Baxter's only 1-0 at amateur, but he's going to be I think he'll be IMAF champion and probably go down the same route as I did. He got time on his side. He's only 18 or 19, I think, so there's plenty of time for him. He'll probably do the IMAFs, turn pro, and then rip up the pro scene. We got a team there at the minute that people may not be familiar with some of the names I've just mentioned, but trust me, within like the next 2-3 years, you're going to know who they are. And if they're capable of pushing me and Brett Johns in the gym every day, then obviously they've got a bit about them, and I've got all the faith in them, and I've got all the faith that they can help push me to the net. And I want to help them get better as well, because the better they get, the harder they can push me, and the better I can perform. So that's what it's all about. We got that close knit team sort of bond, and we all want each other to do well, and we all want each other to be the best we can be. Make the most money we can be, and fight the best guys we can. So they're the guys to keep an eye on. There's plenty more coming through. I'd be here all day if I was, listing everyone. But they are the main guys, who've been helping me out for the last fight, and will probably help me out now until obviously the gym is back open to normal.
Yeah, there's definitely some incredible talent there for sure. Well, look, Jack, I won't take up any more of your time this morning, mate. Really appreciate you coming on with us. Really hope to see you and Shore MMA keep repping Wales and doing the job in the UFC. And hope to speak to you again soon, mate.
Yeah, cheers, James. Top man.
Thank you very much, Jack. Ta, mate.